Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our historical journey. Today, we're delving into a time that changed the course of the world, World War I. Now you might be wondering, why did it happen? Well, that's what we're here to explore. So grab your time-traveling hats and let's journey back to the early 20th century. Picture this, the world in the late 1800s and early 1900s, a time of kings and empires where countries were like chess pieces on a global board. But underneath the surface, something was brewing: tensions, ambitions, and a sense of national pride. Little did they know, these factors were setting the stage for one of the most significant events in human history. And today, we'll unravel the mysteries of World War I. But before we dive into the gritty details, let's set the scene. Imagine a world where countries were flexing their muscles, showing off their military might, and forming alliances like never before. It was like a powder keg waiting for a spark. People were living in a time of change and uncertainty. The world was becoming more interconnected, but with that came challenges. Nationalism, a deep love for one's country, was on the rise. Everyone wanted their piece of the pie, and this craving for power and recognition would lead to a deadly conflict that shook the foundations of the globe. So why did World War I happen? That's the question we're here to answer. Stick around as we journey through the twists and turns of this pivotal moment in history. It's a story of alliances, betrayals, and the consequences that echo through time. Get ready for a historical ride like no other. All right, time travelers. Let's rewind a bit. Before the chaos of World War I, the late 19th and early 20th centuries were like a grand stage for the world's powers. Picture this: fancy empires, elaborate royal courts, and a global dance of diplomacy. But beneath the glitter, trouble was brewing. Nationalism, the idea that your country is the best and should be the best, was spreading like wildfire. Each nation wanted to prove its worth, and this pride often led to competition and tension. Add to that the rise of militarism, the belief that a strong military equals a strong nation, and you've got a recipe for potential disaster. Now, imagine this intricate web of alliances between nations. It was like a complicated dance, where one misstep could send ripples across the entire stage. These alliances were supposed to maintain peace, but in reality, they created a delicate balance that could easily tip. So, as we approach the early 20th century, tensions are high, and the world is on the brink. The stage is set, the actors are in place, and the audience is holding its breath. Little did they know, the drama was about to unfold.
Now things are about to take a dramatic turn. Imagine a sunny day in Sarajevo, 1914. Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, is on a visit. Little did he know, this day would change the course of history. Tensions in Europe had been simmering, and the assassination of Franz Ferdinand was like a spark in a powder keg. Nationalism and ethnic tensions were running high, and the stage was set for a tragic event that would send shockwaves around the world. It wasn't just about one man. It was about the political powder keg that had been building up. The assassin, Gavrilo Princip, was a symbol of the rising nationalism and desire for independence among various ethnic groups in the region. As news of the assassination spread, diplomatic chess pieces began to move. Ultimatums were issued, alliances were tested, and the world held its breath. It was a moment where the dominoes started to fall, setting off a chain reaction that would lead to the unimaginable. Hold on tight, time travelers. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand is the turning point that propels us into the heart of World War I. The stakes are high, the drama is intense, and we're just getting started. Welcome back, time travelers. We've witnessed the assassination, and now the dominoes are starting to fall. Imagine a world where every decision, every move, sets off a chain reaction, like a giant game of dominoes. That's the world plunging into World War I. The aftermath of Franz Ferdinand's assassination was a diplomatic whirlwind. Ultimatums were flying left and right, and countries were forced to make split-second decisions. It was like a high-stakes poker game where the chips were the lives of millions. One by one, countries declared war on each other. It was a domino effect, an unstoppable cascade of events. The world watched as the map of alliances turned into a map of conflict. And in this chaos, the great powers of Europe found themselves entangled in a web of war. What started as a regional conflict soon became a global war. The alliances, meant to maintain peace, now fueled the fire of war. The dominoes fell, and the world plunged into a darkness it had never known. As we delve deeper into the causes of World War I, it's essential to understand the driving forces behind this global catastrophe. Imagine a world where nationalism, imperialism, militarism, and complex alliances were the ingredients of a ticking time bomb. First on our list is nationalism. Picture a strong love for your country, which is fantastic, right? But when every country feels that way, it can lead to a dangerous competition for dominance. It was like a global game of one-upmanship. Next up, imperialism. The hunger for colonies and resources created a scramble for dominance. Countries were like players in a game of Risk, vying for control over territories and asserting their dominance over others. This thirst for power added fuel to the fire. Now, let's talk about militarism. Imagine a world where nations believed that a strong military was the key to greatness. The arms race was on, and every country wanted to flex its military muscles. But with great power came the potential for great conflict. Last but not least, alliances. While meant to keep the peace, these alliances became entangling webs. One small event could drag an entire network of nations into a conflict they never wanted. It was like a giant game of tug-of-war with the fate of the world hanging in the balance. So, time travelers, as we untangle the web of causes, remember that World War I wasn't a single event but a culmination of these complex factors. The world was a powder keg, and it was only a matter of time before it exploded. Welcome back, time travelers. As we plunge into the depths of World War I, we can't ignore the technological revolution that transformed warfare. Picture a world where traditional strategies met the deadly innovations of the 20th century. The Great War marked a shift from old-world tactics to a new era of warfare. Technology played a pivotal role, introducing deadly weapons and strategies that forever changed the face of battle. It was a clash between tradition and innovation, and the consequences were staggering. Imagine soldiers facing machine guns, poison gas, and tanks for the first time. The horrors of trench warfare became a brutal reality. It was a war of attrition, where survival meant enduring unimaginable conditions and facing the relentless onslaught of evolving weaponry. The world witnessed the birth of aerial warfare, with planes taking to the skies for reconnaissance and combat. Battles raged not only on land but also in the air and beneath the waves. The scale of destruction reached unprecedented levels. So, time travelers, as we explore the technological advances that defined World War I, remember that this war wasn't just fought on battlefields, but was a clash of civilizations propelled by the relentless march of progress.
As we continue our journey through World War I, it's crucial to pause and reflect on the human cost of this global conflict. Picture a world where the price of war wasn't just measured in territory, but in the lives of millions. The casualties of World War I were staggering. Millions of soldiers and civilians paid the ultimate price, and the impact on societies was profound. Families were torn apart, and entire generations were scarred by the trauma of war. The soldiers faced not only the physical horrors of battle, but also the psychological toll of trench warfare. It was a war of attrition, where the human spirit clashed with the brutal realities of modern warfare. The war reshaped the global power dynamics, but it came at a tremendous cost. Nations mourned their lost sons, and the scars of the conflict lingered long after the guns fell silent. So, time travelers, as we delve into the human cost of World War I, let's remember the individuals whose lives were forever changed by this monumental conflict. The echoes of their sacrifice still resonate, urging us to reflect on the true price of war. As our journey through the trenches of World War I comes to an end, it's time to draw our conclusions. We've explored the complexities, the causes, and the profound impact of this global conflict. But why does it matter? What lessons can we glean from the echoes of the past? World War I was more than a historical event. It was a crucible that reshaped the world. The alliances, the technological innovations, and the human cost. All of these elements intertwine to create a tapestry of history that still influences our present. The war marked the end of empires, the redrawing of maps, and the birth of a new world order. The League of Nations emerged as a symbol of hope for a peaceful future, but the scars of the conflict ran deep. As we reflect on World War I, it's essential to recognize the fragility of peace and the consequences of unchecked nationalism, militarism, and the complexities of global alliances. The lessons learned from this chapter in history shaped the diplomatic landscape for decades to come. So, time travelers, as we step out of the trenches and back into the present, let's carry with us the knowledge gained from this exploration. World War I wasn't just a war of nations. It was a clash of ideologies, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, and a stark reminder of the cost of conflict. Thank you so much for watching this video. Click this right video for watch the untold stories of World War II, and left video for unseen pyramids of the world. Don't miss out this untold stories and unseen footages. Subscribe.